This season, The Nest has seen a wave of tech-driven ideas take root in agriculture, each one pushing the boundaries of how farming is done. Next into The Nest is another entrepreneur in that space, bringing a fresh take on innovation.
Morning.
Morning.
Hello.
How are you?
We'd love to hear your name and something about your idea.
Okay, my name is Mavhunga Zivai Fayol. I'm the founder of TECHNOAGRICPRA, which is a research, training and consultant service firm. So indigenous productivity and sustainability are the keywords that drive our work in transforming the lives of smallholder community farmers, especially those that are in rural communities. So for the past 6 years, I've been ideating on how best can I make the lives of smallholder farmers master farmers. So during this period, from 2016 to 2022, the ideation period, I discovered that of the 16 million people that we have in Zimbabwe, 70% of them depend on agriculture as a source of livelihood, and 68% of them live in rural communities. And in terms of land holding, we have about 96.7% of the landholders being small-scale farmers, and 56% of those are women. In terms of, on average, Zimbabweans earn about $2.88 per day, and we have about 47% of them earning $3.10 per day, and about 43% having about $1.90 per day. And so 72% of the people live below the national poverty line, and 84% of the 72% living below the national poverty line live in rural communities, of which they constitute 68% of the people depending on agriculture, and they are facing challenges not limited to climate change. So our solution is modernizing traditional rural homes, kumusha, into sustainable climate smart farms through privatized extension services using an asset-based biomimicry climate smart community development approach. We believe that integrating indigenous knowledge and modern technology, we can improve the activities, the income generating activities of these farmers, and also become family food secure. During the MVP testing period from 2023 to 2025, I've done some training sessions, and during these training sessions, I've raised about $1,765, which then led me to develop AgriPort, an application which means Agriculture Productivity Online Technician. What it simply does, it simplifies farming to farmers. So we believe our model is a business to customer model, where we believe that if we have a monthly target of 3,350 farmers to reach to, so that we can be able to employ about 50 extension officers that can work with working with 67 farmers, and this can help us to generate about 33,000 at a rate of $10 per month using a subscription model. So this can give us a profit margin of 32.84%. So for us to reach our first million under 2 years, we can double that to $20 per service. The AgriPort application has different information where the farmer can actually budget. If he wants to buy certain products, he can just go on the application and see what is the cost. It also has different access to different service providers, so the farmer can actually just go to the application and then see where he or she can get what he or she is looking for, and before you can actually budget whilst you're at your home. And it also gets you information where you can train yourself to say, if you're under crop production, you can actually go to the application, have information about that product that you want to produce. It also has the icon that shows you a livestock head. We want to develop sort of a tracker system, because we have seen that most of the farmers that are in livestock production, they are losing through theft cases. So we want to improve tracking systems using that icon. Then also the farmers, those that want to attend training sessions, they can actually register again on that application to register for an event which is in line with agriculture only. Yeah.
The entrepreneurs presented his offering, a full-spectrum companion designed to cater to the many needs of a farmer, but in a field that's quickly becoming crowded. What will make this one stand out?
It's a very comprehensive app, in my opinion. I think maybe too encompassing. I think you're trying to solve too many problems in one, which to me normally leads to the fact that you kind of are too thinly spread for your attention to detail, which was going to leave gaps in certain areas. From what I understand, and maybe correct me if I'm wrong, is that you are looking to help train farmers on what they're already doing.
Yes.
And you want to do that through the platform, but at the same time you'd like to offer them services like procurement, sales.
What we are offering is training services. The application is just there for the farmer to have access to different service providers. Let's say we ourselves, we only provide training services and consultant services. So we go to the farm. The asset-based community development approach is like we go to the farm where the farmer has and look what the farmer already has. And then based on that information that the farmer already has, we then train them to say how then do you modernize what you already have so that it becomes self-sustaining and so that you become climate resilient. So now for you to then access other service providers, right, you can actually see the information on, it's like it's just you have the logo of, let's say it's Profits, right, that sells agro-nutrition services. You can just go there, you can then have their contact and then maybe the salesperson, then you can be able to contact, say I'm looking for this. And also that then allows you to purchase not on the platform, just to have like a directory, sort of a directory. You can just have information of this company and that company. Then you can just, but ourselves, we're only focusing on training the farmer. Then how, with what you have, how do you modernize what you have so that you become climate resilient and be able to produce and be sustainable with what you already have. Then we train you. If it's, let's say you're doing...
Sorry, I'm going to interrupt you there. And to Rulof's point, I'm not clear on the specific problem that you're trying to solve for the farmers and how the system that you have with the application will address that. I think you've given us a lot of numbers, but they're very broad macroeconomic numbers. Maybe just try and laser it into, I mean, because I don't think the problem is them finding suppliers. I think the farmers know where to go to buy certain things. So what exactly is it that, and how will it work? If you're saying it's access to training, how does this actually address that? Bearing in mind that they are already extension officers. So what's unique about your training services compared to other existing extension services?
Okay. Our focus is mainly on, like, the main training sessions that we do is mainly on farm operations, focusing on the farm workers. Was the main training sessions that I've done so far, like on the MVP report, I tried to do the training where I'm training the farmers on how to farm. Then that one did not do well. Then I went on to farm leadership training, where you're training farmers on farm operations, the farm workers on how to understand the processes of farming. That's when most of the farmers, especially in headlands, that's when I get to see they are looking for their farm workers to be trained on how to understand the processes in farming, how to lead people within the farm.
Why do we need an app for that?
Okay, the application has the information which is already there, which is only curated. Let's say like the how to do, let's say tobacco, right? We just go to someone who knows, let's say the TIMB, right? We record the sort of the information in terms of the tobacco production, just an example. Then the farmer who is in tobacco production can just go to the application. Then he can recite the information. What is this? What is this? What is this? At what stage am I going to do this? At what stage am I going to do this?
How much farming experience have you got?
I've never been in like in a farm setup to a large extent. I was a sales personnel at, and I only do consulting services here and there at different farms.
While casting a wider net can promise more, it often dilutes the proposition. For this entrepreneur, the lack of grounding in the field is starting to show. Crystal wants to keep digging.
So I'll be frank with you. This idea, at least the part about connecting farmers to other service providers, is actually something we've heard on this very platform, on that very platform already multiple times. So I'm wondering, and I'll tell you what I told them as well, you don't need to necessarily have a unique product in order to have a viable business. If you're able to have some other edge, some other competitive edge, either in your processes, in the market that you're targeting, in your leadership, in your direction, then you don't necessarily have to be completely differentiated from every other company on the market. But I'm wondering, how much research have you already done into other platforms like this or your competitors? And how are you planning to be different from them? How are you planning to capture a market or bring farmers and service providers onto your platform versus other ones that are already out there?
Okay, so I've seen the document, or the agricultural directory that is there, which also has like the information on service providers. So this application now allows the farmer to, so they update it on a daily basis, then they send it on different WhatsApp platforms so that the farmers can access that directory. But this now, the service provider can just update the information on the application without them sending information to the ones that are, to the, let's say, the editors. So then the service provider who will be on the platform, right, can have their salesperson just update the information on the platform. If, let's say, they change address.
You can do that on Google.
In export markets, success starts with solving a clear problem, and a strong USP sets you apart. But in this pitch, that clarity remains elusive.
I think in summary, what I'm hearing from my colleagues is that you still need to go and really define what is it exactly you're offering and what's unique about your proposition. And that comes back to you defining the problem. So we've rushed to the solution, but now you're talking about there's a WhatsApp group and they've got these broadcasts, and you've got a concept, you've got an idea, but we don't yet have a concept in my opinion.
Yeah. I'm a fan of your plan. I think there's too much going on, and I think it's too much going on without some research to back it, without some understanding of what's out there, without some understanding of your competitors. Rudolph's question about how much your own farming experience. If you don't necessarily have to have farming experience, but you should at least have people that you're consulting who are, a part of your team or helping you to design this platform that have robust farming experience. So it's going to be a no from me as well. But I think you could take the feedback that we're giving you and come up with something that's a little bit more targeted and much more viable.
Yeah, I think in essence, conjugation is key here. I mean, as listening to the idea for the first time, it encompasses too much. There's preparing for climate-resistant crops. There's sourcing or creating a marketplace. There's trainings, and these are all things that are necessities. I completely agree with you. But to try and bundle them all in one thing, it can be very complicated to say the least. So conjugate your ideas, try and focus in on what your strengths are and what you have to offer. And I think maybe build from there once you have a bit of traction. Because if you're trying to sell me the world and I don't understand it, it's a bit scary to take that leap. But yeah, kudos for indicating these key problem areas within agriculture in Zim, but try and refine your ideas to clearer ones.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
No.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
It's a no from the judges. The proposition tried to solve too much at once, and in doing so, lost the clarity needed to stand out. Without that focus, even strong ideas struggle to find their place. He leaves the nest with advice and guidance, a chance to refine, refocus, and return stronger. The Eagle's Nest Agri Challenge, proudly brought to you by Zimtrade and the Netherlands Embassy.